Welcome to the 2023 Cal Ripken 10U World Series on the Region Sports Network, presented by Pet Supplies Plus in Crown Point.
Everybody, thank you for joining us and welcome to the 2023 Cal Ripken 10U World Series opening ceremonies from the hub city here in beautiful Crown Point, Indiana. We are so happy to be with you on what is absolutely glorious day there's no baseball games today, but we've got an opening ceremony to get things ready for what is sure to be a spectacular week of baseball. Michael Bradner here, along with, he made the trek down from Chicago to be here for this, Jack Thiel. Jack, it's good to have you back with the RSN. Excited to have you. Glad you came back from Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't miss this. 24 of the best teams from around the world, one place, 1 week. We have some of the best youth baseball players in the world, including all the way from Australia. You've got your host team, the Crown Point Bulldogs. You got the Cherryville Shock and a bunch of other teams. You got Florida, you've got Wisconsin, you've got North Carolina. You've got multiple states around this country, and it's just a beautiful day, like you said, and an amazing opportunity for all these kids to get this last amazing experience before they head off to school.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, one more week for a lot of these guys. And looking forward to what is going to be a fun week. We're going to have games literally all day, every day, starting tomorrow. We'll have about a quadruple header just about every day. Yeah. But we'll have streams of every single game. We got over 50 games the entire week. And we'll have live streams for sure of every game. Some of them will have announcers like myself and you, and others will have just kind of the game that you can tune into. And we're going to try to give you the best possible coverage we can provide. And really, there's no other place to do this than the hub city of Crown Point.
Absolutely. I mean, a beautiful field, 2 fields they're playing on, and Crown Point has opened their arms. I mean, the amazing volunteers over the week have prepped the field and have really made this a destination for the 10U Cal Ripken World Series. So amazing job by all the volunteers and hard people who made this possible. And I think everybody's just ready to play some baseball.
Heck yeah. I mean, I'm ready to watch some baseball. If I could get out there and play, these guys probably move a lot faster than I do, but I can probably smash one out of the ballpark maybe.
Well, we'll see.
Maybe they'll let us do batting practice.
I don't know. We do have the home run derby and the skills competition after this, so we'll see. Maybe we can get you out there, Michael.
That'll be quite frightening. We'll lose every member of our audience. We do want to send a big thanks to Pet Supplies Plus. They're going to be a presenting sponsor the entire week. So you're watching game day coverage of the 2023 Cal Ripken 10U World Series, brought to you by Pet Supplies Plus in Crown Point. Pet Supplies Plus in Crown Point, open 7 days a week. Check them out on the web at PetSuppliesPlus/Crown Point. Like we said, a glorious day. It's about low 80s, mid 80s. Right here, a little bit of a wind, so the breeze is helping out a little bit. But just to kind of give you a sense of, as you see people probably starting to move towards the artificial turf area here, and we're going to have the parade of, like if you ever watch Olympic coverage, like a parade of nations. The teams are going to come in a parade, and we're going to get to see all these teams from, like you said, not only all around the country, but all around the world. We have a team from Australia, and you name some of the states that just include others. You got Oregon, you got, I think, Arkansas, and
Hawaii.
You got Rhode Island. We got teams from all over the place. We cannot think of a better event to cover here on the Region Sports Network than that. We're used to giving you some of the best around the region, and we have had some great athletes, and now we get to feature some of the best athletes from around the world. Can't wait to bring it to you. And the music's turned off, and I was walking through a little bit because I didn't see where we were set up originally, so I was walking around the park like a fool, just trying to find the Region Sports Network crew. And I was talking to some of the families around here. They were excited to see that we were broadcasting this. And I also noticed, I talked about Olympic coverage. If you don't know, one thing that they do, the athletes and media, they exchange pins, like lapel pins. They're doing that here at this World Series event. So kids are going around like, hey, you're from Florida. Hey, you're from – and they're sharing pins, which is pretty cool.
No, it's an amazing opportunity. I mean, we talk about baseball and how important it's to win, but it's also important, to have this memory, to meet so many people, like around the country, people that you've never met before. And now you have the chance to really make long-lasting connections here and meet some people, like you said, Rhode Island. You can go to Hawaii. Meet some people from Australia.
Yeah.
I mean, you can learn so many things about people. Where they're from. Where are the best places to eat. What's their favorite food. What their favorite baseball player is. So there's just so many ways to connect. All the players have the opportunity. All the coaches as well. All of them, taking their time and really doing this. So, it's just a great opportunity. Aside the fact from baseball, it's just a unique opportunity to really meet people who love to do what you do, and that is play baseball.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. That is very well put. And if you are at home and you're like sitting here in the last week of summer before the school year starts, and you're thinking like, hey, maybe I want to bring my kid. Maybe my kid's 5, or maybe my kid's 15. Like, hey, I want to bring my kid out to just watch this event and see some of the best athletes from around the world converge right here in the hub city. And I'm sure I don't have all the information currently available. We'll get that over the course of the week and get that to you. But there's links, I'm sure, for tickets to be able to come out to this event and support these youngsters. I mean, this is 10U, so what an experience that these kids get to have and travel and, like you said, make those connections. And I think even more important because of, obviously we've had COVID for a number of years and, things have been shut down. So, like, now you're really getting that chance to broaden your horizons and see what else is out there. And I love it. The way you described it earlier was perfect. And kind of just waiting to get things started here at the event as we were looking like we're going to get some of the parade started. It's kind of we can kind of see it beginning off to our left a little bit here. They were starting on the track over to our left, and they're going to be making their way in front of the crowd. And to be a part of something like this, I mean, I'm over the moon for these kids.
Yeah.
Because if you've never been to I've never been to an Olympic sporting event, but I watch every couple years when they have the Parade of Nations. I'm like, how epic that must feel to be a part of that and like have people watch you as you carry your flag, and now you get to carry your team banner.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. I've had the opportunity to play in these types of games as a kid growing up for Cherryville. And to see the Cherryville Shock in this tournament. Yeah. It's kind of makes me feel a little old, but it's just such a great, like you said, unique and great opportunity that these kids just this is kind of like their last hurrah. No one likes to go back to school, so you get to play baseball one last time, and it's the best of the best. So what else can you ask for? These are going to be some of the best games we can see from the 10U group, and the MCs getting the crowd pump here as we have multiple parents, uncles, cousins, families in general, making their way over here near the stadium. We've got a team, looks like they're ready to come out.
Yeah, so the teams are going to come out, make their way across here. Everybody gets to see as the parents all kind of filing in there. Get a look at their youngster coming across. We'll see kind of where the parade route is going to be. Wasn't really mapped out for us. So we'll kind of just see how it goes. It's kind of off to our right there. We see the teams all through Cal Ripken, a division of Babe Ruth baseball. It's super exciting to watch these youngsters. And, being a teacher myself, sometimes you kind of look at it. Some of the kids may not fully, as they're going through this process, may not fully appreciate what's going to. But when you get to your age, they'll start to realize, wow, this is something really special.
It is. It really is. And unfortunately, it's only a week long. You wish it was longer, but it's a week of amazing moments. And they just actually introduced the Australian team. Yeah. The Aussie Drop Bears coming all the way from Australia. That's got to be such a unique opportunity to come to the States. Probably the first time for a lot of these people. And here they are enjoying this moment. Still, we got some more teams going through. It seems like the route is through the stadium. They're going to go through this under kind of the pavilion roof area.
Yeah, we're stationed here at Bulldog Park here in the hub city of Crown Point. We're looking at, the old courthouse and everything, the amphitheater here at Bulldog Park. And we're going to be making our way over to Jerry Ross Park in a little bit for a skills competition a little bit later on this evening. We'll have coverage of that as well. I was told we are not getting a rickshaw ride over there. They were all booked for the course of the week, so we did not reserve a rickshaw ride in time, which is a bummer. Just talking about anybody that gets to host an event like this, Crown Point We did a game from here a couple of weeks ago, and you know how the fields are set up here in Crown Point. I mean, they have, like you said, really opened their arms, and what an experience for the community to embrace these teams. Obviously, if you've never been to the square area, plenty of places to come and eat and enjoy yourselves, and it's just a great area. And the fields are so well maintained. You know, we had a chance to go as more and more teams are getting introduced here in the Parade of Nations. Over 20 teams being introduced through this hole. We'll have pool play over the course of the first 4 days of action. We'll have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday pool play. I'll be with you in the morning. Jack will be with you in the mid-afternoons, evenings, depending on how the schedule works out. But Crown Point has really done a great job of maintaining fields, and there's so many fields all over Crown Point. But the fields over here for Cal Ripken baseball and have just been phenomenal, and they've really taken to us and trying to make sure that we're going to have everything we need to get set to bring you this amazing coverage. They've been so great with us, all the organizers and everything, and we'll talk to them over the course of the week. And really, because one of the questions I have is how does Crown Point get to be a host?
Yeah, that is a good question.
I want to know what a process you have to go to. Is there a bidding process? Do committees come here and check this out?
I got to say, it has to start with your facilities and what you have to offer. And they have some of the best things you can offer. I'm sure they said, hey, we have Bulldog Park where we can do amazing things, a ceremony, kind of the parade thing we got going on. And, we have a beautiful, multiple fields over there that would be lovely. That'd be, featured in the 10U World Series. So I bet you it's a very hard process. I'm sure a lot of teams, a lot of cities want to be a part of this. And, Crown Point, luckily they are. And, they have 2 teams in this tournament. So it'll be interesting to see that. We have 3 teams from the region, 2 Crown Point, Cherville, Shock. So got 3 hometown teams. A lot of the other ones obviously kind of further away. So it'll be interesting to see the support systems. I mean, a lot of people are here, but, those Crown Point and Cherville games, I bet you are going to be very packed. There's going to be a bunch of people there, and it's going to be fun to watch. You can see the support looking straight, and I see somebody with an Australian flag, kind of on them. So you can see that people all the way from Australia have made the trip to, watch this team, and I'm sure from all the other places that we're going to be able to call games for. All these parents, families are here and supporting these teams, and as they keep going on through this parade, you can just hear the roar of cheers for each team as they announce them.
Yeah, highly encouraging. We'll try to get that information out to you. I don't have it available in front of me at the moment, but, come grab a ticket to the games. Come check this out live and in person. As much as we want you to tune into our coverage, and we know you will because that's why you're tuned into this right now, but at the same time, come watch it live, too. Like, get the true experience. It's going to be fun. Can't wait to get it going. I know you were talking. You had a map of some of the teams and how some of these teams even qualify. I'll let you talk about that for a second.
I also want to say, for people that want to know information about the 10U World Series, go on their Facebook page. Yeah. They have done an amazing job at updating the people on any questions or information you have. It's the 2023 10U Cal Ripken World Series Facebook page. But, yeah, we have a bunch of teams. We have some from the 2022 9U Regional Champions. Then, of course, we have our 2023 10U Regional Champions, the international team all the way from Sydney, Australia. And we also have some large invites. We have 4 teams who came in as large invites, 2 coming from Florida, 1 from Kentucky, another one from Idaho, your host state champion in Cherville, then your host teams in at Crown Point. But, I mean, you look at the map. You go all the way to Wisconsin, you go to Minnesota, you go Florida. There's 3 teams actually from Florida in this tournament today.
I was actually, as I was walking here, because I'm pretty close, I was able to walk in. I parked at one of the parking lots, and I was walking in I walked in with one of the teams from South Florida. They were enjoying one of the local establishments here for lunch, dinner, and checking things out. And actually, the mayor of Crown Point, Pete Land, just walked by with former mayor David Duran. So they're here taking this all in as well. I think they kind of cut through the shot there for just a second.
Yeah, if you're involved anyway with the Crown Point community, this is the place to be.
Yeah.
I think this, even if you don't have anyone that on the team, it's still a great event to be a part of. To check out, these kids have put their hearts and soul in this summer. They've really, and the parents as well, how much time they've sacrificed to really make this something special for their children. And, it's just, like I said, even if you're not even a part of the Crown Point teams or Cherville teams or any team, it's still something amazing to check out. And any of these, Cal Ripken World Series, any age, is just a tremendous opportunity for these kids. And as you can see, I mean, the support is amazing, and everyone's having fun with this. You've got snow cone machines, you've got food here.
I was just going to go into that. So you're kind of checking out where the amphitheater is, and sometimes where they show movies in the park and stuff like that. But then, on the camera view to our right, you get to see this is where they would normally have like the ice rink in the winter, and this is where they have some other like the markets and stuff like that, and the other food. But there's food trucks here.
Yeah.
There is a gaming truck over there as well, where some kids can go and play because they haven't played enough video games over the summer.
Laser tag.
We got some laser tag over here. We were debating on whether we should actually have that in our shot because we're like, oh, we don't want to promote violence, but laser tag, and then with some actual like places to go hide and stuff. I mean, it's such a cool feature, and like parents are mulling about talking, and there's refreshments for adults as well if you're checking that out. And and that's we're talking about the kids. Obviously, that's where we want to keep our focus. But what a cool opportunity for parents to come and like just to see something a little bit different. If you're not, if you're not really from this area, you talked about 3 local teams, but checking out another place here in Indiana. And Crown Point, while it might be considered a city, it's got that small town kind of feel with the square and just something a little bit different that you don't normally get in a lot of other places. So.
The Crown Point's really made themselves the destination in the region,
That's why we're the hub city, man.
They've done a lot of great things around the square with a lot of new restaurants and places to hang out. So, I mean, if you're a foodie, there's a lot of great places to eat over here. And, of course, you're not too far from places like Crown Point or Valpo or Maryville.
Right.
There's a lot of towns that kind of surround the region to where, you might be staying in Crown Point, but you can always check out like a Dyer. They've got great places. Sheriffville, it's just the region. The region is so tightly bounded. And, whether you're in Crown Point, whatever town you're in, you can find something to do and find some great food, some place to drink. There's a lot of great amenities involved.
One of those restaurants is actually one of our sponsors as well. So if you're here to watch the World Series, stop in for a bite to eat at one of Crown Point's most popular eating establishments, Station 21 American Grill. From burgers, wings, and fish. They open every day at 11 a.m. for lunch and dinner. Station 21, just a short 1-minute walk away from Bulldog Park and from Jerry Ross Park as well. So check out their menu at station21.com. That's Station 21 American Grill. Eat, drink, relax. I am a frequent visitor of this place, and it's good food. I can promise you that. They got the different levels. You can sit outside. Plenty. If you're watching, your games or whatever, maybe they'll be able to turn on the Region Sports Network during the tournament as well. You can check things out. Check things out there. Maybe you just finished a game and you're going to be getting the winner of the next game, but you wanted to grab, a bite to eat. Maybe we can find a way to do that. I don't know if we can do that or not. We can make it work, right?
Crown Point Bulldogs now coming through. You can hear the uproar from
the
audience. The Bulldogs are here, and I'm telling you what, as the team being a host, you want to win it more, I feel like, being the host team. You really want to protect your home field, and, if anyone knows this field the best, it's them.
Right, getting the most home support, cheering on and everything possibly. So, I think it's so great that we are a part of this coverage as well, and I think we're very lucky to – again, it's kind of like I was saying with the 10-year-olds, like they may not get a sense of how important this is, and you and I, we may not get a sense of how important this is, but there's people that are tuned in that are – family members that live elsewhere in the country, and they don't get to watch their grandchild, their nephew, or whatever the case may be, get to play in these sports. And now we're providing them a chance to be able to see in such a cool event. Like I said, we're going to have over 50 games, almost 60 total games the entire week, Saturday to Saturday, bright and early, 10 a.m. starting. Some of them will have broadcasts provided by, myself and you, Jack Thiel, and some of them will have just kind of a camera with a scoreboard operator, just because we can't get every game in, but we're going to try to get as many as we possibly can, and but we're going to have live streams of every one of these games. So,
and I believe that is also the end of introducing teams. The Crown Point Bulldogs, both of them closed it out. Not sure what's going to happen at the moment, but it seems like the introduction of the teams has concluded. So they might be going over some more stuff, maybe league directors, the people who made this possible, they might be introducing them for this, but overall it seems like that the teams are going to be done introduced. They might be going around the pavilion over here for a little bit and, get themselves ready for that skills competition.
I know we saw all of our officials here at one point. They walked by. They politely handed us a few dollars to make sure we had, nice things to say about them.
And it seems like the teams are all – some teams have made their way into this turf area that we have, on video. So –
all right now we're tuned into the Australian national anthem, so we'll tune into that. So the Australian national anthem there, and then we'll have the United States national anthem, I'm sure, to follow.
Yeah, just amazing representation right there for Australia to have their anthem played. And, I never thought I'd hear the Australian national anthem in Crown Point, Indiana, but amazing job. And hopefully get to hear that some more when those Australian teams does get to play in this tournament.
So they're introducing the mayor of Crown Point, Mayor Pete Land. Took over a few years ago here in Crown Point.
Fantastic. It is so great to see all of you. What a beautiful day weather-wise we have, right? We're not playing this any better. So I'm lucky enough to be up here on stage, but I want everybody here to know that I represent the 35,000 residents of Crown Point. So it is a collective welcome from all of us to you. Welcome to our beautiful city. So however long you guys are here for the week, this is your week, right? So I want to thank our local Cal Ripken board and workers over there. They have done a phenomenal, they've worked so hard to get our complex and their complex in tip-top shape for all of you, because that's what you guys all deserve. Crown Point is known for its sports town. We are a youth sports town, as you can see. Our great facilities. Players, my one message to you is this. You're going to remember this experience. This is a lifetime experience. You will remember this when you're my age, I guarantee you. So I want you to play hard. I want you to play smart. But most important, I want you to play to have fun. Right? Welcome to Crown Point. I am so excited to be here and be a part of this. Thank you, and have a fantastic week.
Couldn't put it any better than the mayor right there. He said lifetime experience and have some fun, and welcoming, everybody to the city. I'm sure he's one of the most excited people about this tournament just because he loves the city, obviously. And for him to be able to do this, I'm sure he's been happy about this.
It's almost like he was listening to our broadcast. Here comes the former mayor of Crown Point, Mr. David Duran.
It's going to be a tough act to follow. Let's give our hands together for Mayor Peter Land. Nice job, Mayor. Well, on behalf of, he represents 35,000, I represent 600,000, Northwest Indiana, right? And on behalf of the residents of Lake County, we say welcome to Crown Point, Indiana. So, all my players out there, put your hands up. This is a chance for you right now to say thank you to your managers and your parents, because without them, you wouldn't be here today. So on a count of three, let's say thank you. 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. There you go, moms and dads. You guys hit me up around that earlier, so you got your thank you. So great things. You guys are going to be here for the next 8 days. Besides, as the mayor said, be very spirited between the lines. Play hard, play fair, but most importantly, make friendships of a lifetime here, because you don't know how this next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, you guys are going to regroup and make friends and be Facebook friends, and everybody's going to be having a good time, and you're going to have great opportunities in your careers. Some people in here are going to be playing Major League Baseball someday, right? Every one of you are going to play Major League Baseball, right? All you guys are going to play for the Chicago Cubs. There we go.
Now we're talking.
It's a house
Sorry,
divided,
Jack.
apparently. That's cool, though. Hey, great things going on here. Real quick, just want to give you some housekeeping things. The Gary Air Show is going to be in town this weekend on the 5th and 6th. If you have some time to go up there and see the air show, it is free. It's on the shorelines of Lake Michigan. The Lake County Fair in the backyards here at Crown Point's going on for the next 10 days. Go visit that as well. It's a great fair as well. You got the water parks, you got golf courses, you got attractions, great historical downtowns. See it all. Soak in Lake County, Indiana while you're here, okay? On behalf of our organization, we say welcome to Lake County, welcome to the city of Crown Point. Enjoy yourselves, the weather's gonna be good, and enjoy the competition. Have fun tonight.
So Dave started up, I'm going to make a shout out to the Chicago White Sox for sponsoring, being great sponsors of Crown Point Cal Ripken for the past 3 years. Thank you, Chicago White Sox. Next up, our tournament director, who's on the International Board of Directors for Babe Ruth League, Mr. Tom Wright.
The Tom Wright Board of Directors for Babe Ruth. There you go. You got your White Sox there. Shout out.
They're Cal Ripken sponsors.
Several things here. What a great facility. I've had the pleasure of watching this develop over the last 10 years. This is a remarkable company buildings. Not only these facilities here, the Cal Ripken facilities, but every youth sport in the city has facilities that are just unbelievable. If you haven't got a chance, go to football. Go over there. All the tremendous facilities for the youth in the city. But at this time, I want to introduce the task force. John Lucas, Sandra Eldridge, Joe. I can't say his last name, so I'm not going to say it. Joe. And I want to introduce all the umpires. I'm not going to do it individually. The guys can come here and stand. Let you know. These are our umpires. They have a tremendous amount of World Series experience. Good. Very good. So at this time, I'd like to thank the city of Crown Point for having us and hosting this. This league has done a tremendous job. The city has done a great job of letting us host it. So I'd like to have the mayor come forward. Thank you, Mayor, for all you've done for us.
Just like a little photo opportunity there.
It's got all the umpires and officials up on the stage right there. So
You talk about a job that is extremely thankless, and these guys are going to be in the heat of the day just like the players and doing the best they can. Obviously going to be trying to make the best calls that they possibly can. And, you know, some calls are easy to make and some are difficult and spur of the moment, and they're not gifted with the idea of replay. So, you know, that's one thing, especially in the comments over the course of the week. Please be very mindful and respectful of our officials. They are giving up their time to do these things, and greatly appreciate what they do out there. It's a very thankless job, and it's a hard job to do. And just seeing some of those guys out on that stage, I know a lot of them are very, very good at what they do. So.
Joel and his team have done a great job of putting this
And I believe we have one of the coaches from the Crown Point teams now on the stage.
Okay.
I would like to say thank you to Adam and Jay. You guys are great. So this is a thank you from Bakeries International. Thank you, Joe.
Looks like he's presented with a plaque.
We didn't get one of those.
Up there on stage, probably, thanking them for him and his, community and team doing a great job preparing the fields for this tournament. I know not people haven't been able to see, but if you go on the 10U Cal Ripken World Series Facebook page, you'll be able to see all the amazing work they've done with the outfield walls, with all the Cal Ripken World Series logos around. So, if you haven't had the opportunity, go to their Facebook page to see that, and it looks like we might have the national anthem, I believe.
Yep, time for the national anthem. How cool was that?
I heard it. I just didn't know where it was coming from for a second.
I say we could hear the choppers coming, just didn't know. And a lot of times they try to time it up so it's done at the end. I thought that was perfect at the.
It was really perfect.
The timing was perfect on that.
And the kids loved it.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like normally flyovers don't do it for me. I got some goosebumps on that one. That one was pretty cool.
That was really awesome to do for those kids.
Yeah, flyovers usually don't do it for me. That one.
I mean, how many times can you say growing up and playing baseball you had to fly over
for an event that you were at? Absolutely.
So just something amazing right there. I believe we're still going through more introductions. I know they said the skills challenge that we will have at Jerry Ross Park is 7:30, they said. So I'm sure they're wrapping things up, trying to introduce everybody who has made a huge impact to this week, trying to remember all the names as best as they could.
Yeah, just a reminder, the coverage of the 2023 Cal Ripken 10U World Series on the Region Sports Network is presented by Pet Supplies Plus in Crown Point. Pet Supplies Plus is your one-stop store for all your pets' needs. Pet Supplies Plus in Crown Point. For more information, visit PetSuppliesPlus/Crown Point. So they are introducing the officials. That would be, or at least Mr. Strubiak over there. I think they are naming them one by one, your officials for the entire week. And cool opportunity for them as well to get to see some of these best players. And
absolutely.
I thought former mayor of Crown Point, David Duran, made a really good point, and something that I really appreciate him taking the time to have the kids say thank you to. Without the parent support and the family support and whoever is your guardian or whoever's in charge of you, these kids wouldn't be here without that support. So big thanks to the parents that are here supporting, or whatever family member you might be, grandparents, family, whatever the case may be. Thank you for all your dedication to helping your young one get to this point today, so that way we can shine on those accolades and your dedication. And, it's kind of funny. I said I was coming here today. I was talking to some friends, and I said I was coming here today and kind of explaining how this World Series works. And this is probably going to be like a vacation for a lot of these families, taking the time off of work to be here and support their 10-year-old. Because some people were asking, well, how do you give a week devoted to that? Well, you got to take some vacation time. It's your kid. You got to take the time.
A lot of these families, have their full-time jobs, and not just this week, but the whole summer.
Right.
Have really made an impact on this, just because you go to those state tournaments, and just regular games overall. That takes time out of everyone's day, and for these families who they have jobs, and for them to, in their free time, devote it to their children, to their families, and, really have an impact on their lives and help them make memories that, they'll grow up remembering and tell their future kids and all that. So, the parents, the families, whoever, like you said, the guardians, they have really done an amazing job this summer. And as much as we want to celebrate the players and all their hard work this week, it's just as important to celebrate the families, the parents, to really thank them for how much they put into this, and really being that strong support system for all these kids playing this week.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. As they're still introducing some other dignitaries here for these opening ceremonies as we get set starting tomorrow. We have, we have four broadcasts tomorrow, I believe.
I believe 4 for each field. I know we start at 10 a.m. and then the last game is at 7 p.m.
Yeah, we got a quadruple announcer broadcast. We'll have all the games broadcasted. So what is there, 8 in the course of a day?
I believe so. And, of course,
9. We'll have 9 tomorrow on Saturday. So, like you said, starting at 10 in the morning, going all the way through the evening. We will have either some broadcast with announcers, as we pointed out, and then some we'll just have a live stream with a production guy that'll be changing the score so you can see. But and I'm sure we'll be tuned into some of the crowd mics and stuff like that. We're going to try to get as many of these broadcasts and feature as many of these teams as we possibly can. Looking forward to that, and learning some of these kids. And I'm going to venture to believe, out of 24 teams, you figure you got anywhere 10 to 15 kids per team. There's going to be one kid out of this group that makes it into the major league. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to say that
Crown Point Mayor said that. He did say that. Who's a major leaguer and all these kids?
We're going to find out. We're going to find out which member of the Chicago Cubs is going to be drafted in a number of years.
And it's always great stories when you see that in the MLB. Kids that had great careers when they were young, and they have those stories and those tournaments. And when you can say you saw that person or you watched them on Facebook Live for Region Sports Network, it just brings back everything, and it's such a cool. It's just, you can't really explain it to see, I watched that kid on Facebook Live, and here he is now getting drafted by a team. So it's just a great development program as well. It's shown that throughout the years. And a lot of these places who are being represented do have players already in the major league.
Yeah.
So, these areas have been represented very well in the MLB and in, the minor leagues as well. So, it's very possible we see that, but, it is the best of the best here this week. You got 24 teams, and, they all worked hard to get to this moment. So these kids, we got some of the best you can ask for youth baseball players.
Jack, odds are maybe somebody ends up at DePaul as well.
Well, we don't have baseball, so it might be a little hard.
I didn't say they had to play baseball. I just said going to DePaul. You never know. They could join you. You're
Possibly.
You're going to be long gone by the time that happens.
Possibly.
Long DePaul, excuse me.
But it's just, yes, the opportunities. I remember you see stories of MLB kids today, and they talk about, their upbringings and times that when they played in their younger selves, and they show the pictures of them, and, they show the highlights and everything. It's just wholesome. It's a wholesome moment right there.
It all starts at events like this, the journey there. And, it's fun from, on a selfish perspective as broadcasters. We get to feature these youngsters. Obviously here in, we're live from Northwest Indiana. We appreciate you tuning in from wherever you may be tuned in from, whether all across the country or around the world or wherever. Local 219, Lake County, Indiana, has had a number of players drafted to Major League Baseball.
Absolutely.
Lake Central just had one this past year going to the Milwaukee Brewers, Josh Adamszewski.
A few from right here in Crown Point, Indiana as well.
Yeah, we've had a few over the years, so it's it's always fun. And from our selfish perspective, getting to cover them and say, hey, we knew them when they were 10.
Yeah.
We saw it then, and who knew what path they would take later on.
I think the selfish part is the conversations we get to have
Yes.
with these players, these coaches. You just really get to learn about them and their stories. I always the thing I find most interesting about talking to kids in these types of tournaments, their favorite player and why. Because look, you have your designated teams that you like, and you might have a favorite player. But if you don't have a favorite player from your favorite team, that's where you really get an interesting story. I've been hearing a lot of Shohei Ohtani's. Obviously, he's captivated the game of baseball like nobody else in years. So when you hear these stories and why these kids resonate, with people they want to be like when they're older, it's really an amazing story. These kids are 10 years old. They're funny. They got a bunch of fun stuff to say. The Aussie Drop Bears, they had these player profiles on their Facebook page, just talking about, them coming to States. Why are they excited? And it was really unique to read about that, them talking, just playing with their friends, being able to have this experience with lifelong friends. And, that's really is the case for a lot of these teams, is they get to have this experience with, people they've grown up with and they will grow up with for the years to come. So it's been a really great experience, and it's only, I guess it's not even really day one, but it is the opening ceremony, and things have kicked off to a great start.
Yeah, I was looking through some of the profiles for some of the teams that we're going to be featuring tomorrow, and there's one that I can't wait to tell tomorrow about a young man who they asked him his hidden talent, and his hidden talent. I can't wait to go find this kid because I want to see the hidden talent. And some of them are just, I can wiggle my ears, which is, I can't wiggle my ears, so that's a pretty hidden. But this one is pretty special. I can't wait to tell you tomorrow on the broadcast for that one while we're looking at some of the doing some of the prep that we're going to do for this game, because thankfully on this side we haven't had a chance to really dive in and talk to some of these teams yet, but we're already starting to learn a little bit about these guys and some of their interests. And I did notice it to the point you were making. Some of these kids are saying like, oh, my favorite player is Ronald Acuna Jr. and then but their favorite team is the Chicago White Sox. Okay, so your favorite team, you don't even have your favorite player isn't even on your favorite team. Why? Like, what's going on? What's going on with that?
But you see it a lot more in today's game than it was years ago. And it's really truly shown how the game of baseball has really grown. And I'm excited to see that with this Australian team. I know I keep talking about them, but I just think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
For a team like them to come to the States and, show them why they deserve to be in this tournament. And I just think that's such a great and unique opportunity. And, we learn about baseball growing and point blank right there, a team from Australia in this tournament. You just love to see baseball being played everywhere.
Yeah, I love that it's a global event, and I love that when we call it a World Series, it really is a World Series. We got teams from other countries, so it will be a World Series. It's just going to be an absolute blast. They're still doing some, I think, some housekeeping things and just some announcements maybe for some of the coaches. I know more and more players are starting to move away from the facilities from the front.
They're going to, take some time, help them get set up for the skills challenge.
Yeah.
At Jerry Ross Park, help them save some time. But, that's going to be exciting. Home run derby, I know if I were 10 years old, I'd be licking my chops at that event. I was somebody who always aimed for the fences. So, if I were 10 years old and if I were in that championship round, I'd be jumping jacks, So I think that we've got a lot of great competitions. We got the relay. And I think it's also interesting for these competitions. As a coach, you kind of have to watch them when you play these teams. Which team has the best relay? And you got to remember that, because when you get into that game mode, if you have somebody, let's say, round and third going home, maybe if you remember, hey, this team's relay was really good when they did that competition, let's not go home. So I think you learn a lot about some players and teams in these skills competitions, because it's not much like when you go to professional and you have the scouting tape, you get the highlights, you can watch so and so is batting 250 when they're throwing a fastball or changeup, so these skills challenge really gives coaches and players the opportunity to see other players and teams, but also kind of a little scouting advantage to know who's good at what and who can really do something very well.
That's what I would love to see in MLB instead of just. Don't get me wrong, I love the home run derby, but
absolutely.
Some of these other players are good at so many other things other than just home runs. That's not. I know that's what people love, home runs, but I love the art of bunting. Absolutely. I love the ability
that,
to be able to throw, across the diamond and do those relay. I love all
Japan.
that.
I didn't know if you know that. They do
Yes.
that in Japan.
Yes.
A bunting challenge, which is very interesting. I always believe they should do a speed challenge and
That would be fun.
run around the bases. I think that would be very interesting. Or you can do it from first to second, just like a stolen base thing. I think that's always a promising event. But, yeah, I think there's just so many ways to game a baseball. And these skills challenge that we're seeing in these youth leagues are doing that we'd love to see, in the majors.
Mm-hmm.
The relay, the home. Like, we all love home runs. Let's not
Oh,
kid
yeah.
us. We all love a home run, but there's more in the baseball than just home runs. Relaying, grounders, fly balls, bunting, like you mentioned, speed, agility. There's so many things you can do in baseball that can really test that out. And thankfully, we're going to see some of that tonight, and we'll see that throughout the week during the tournament.
Yeah, I can't wait to see kind of some of these highlight reel plays that we're going to see over the course of this week, and I'm sure we'll be able to take some of those great highlights and just make a great package video. And I don't know if we can do like a one shining moment kind of deal, but
I don't know, but
there's some copyright laws in that. But wouldn't that be cool to have?
It would be, absolutely. And I know the families would love that type of thing, and I think these kids are ready.
You can say the ball is pitched or something.
The ball, yeah, something like that. I am going to be curious though, as we're talking about the skills challenge. If people don't know Jerry Ross Park in the major field, we got a tall right field stand right there. And it'll be interesting to see what can happen there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And now we're going to have an interview. It's going to be the mayor of Crown Point. Thank you for joining us today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Look, here it is. It's the week of the 10U Cal Ripken World Series. I got to ask, how are you feeling?
I am super excited. I've been looking forward to this ever since it was announced.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said up there, everybody's been working really hard because we want everybody, players, coaches, families, everybody attending to have a first-rate experience outside of the lines, but definitely between the lines.
Just talk about the community support and the amount of volunteers that have helped to make this week possible.
Yeah, so it takes, putting on something like this, and like I said, we want it first-rate. It takes a lot of preparation, a lot of hands on deck, but, like Crown Point is a youth sports town. And you can see from our facilities, the crowd, our venue here, and we came through and delivered. And believe me, the entire city is behind all these players from all over the country and outside the country.
Yeah.
That's just a fantastic thing for the city.
I got to ask, how are you keeping things under control? You got a busy week. You got the Lake County Fair not too far from here. You got this big tournament going on, and Crown Point is a very popular destination. It's probably been a busy month or two for you so far.
It has. In fact, right where we're standing last night, we had a national talent concert. So, but we were able to transition that out into the park here today. So it's all exciting stuff. So this is good to showcase our city. I'm super proud of Crown Point, and I just love showing it off.
Yeah, what does this tournament mean for the town of Crown Point?
Like I said, I tell the players, you are going to remember this for the rest of your life. And my goal and our community's goal is that you're going to remember Crown Point, and you're going to remember, hey, I remember when I played there, and that was a really cool community. So if we can have the players and everybody attending think of that, it's a win.
What are you looking forward to most this week?
I'm looking forward to catching all the games. Not only Crown Point teams, but I'll be over there because I want to see all the great play.
Awesome. Well, Mayor, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. Thank you for doing all this for the city of Crown Point and for these kids. I'll tell you one thing, they'll never forget this moment, and you and the city have done one amazing job putting this all together. So once again, thank you so much, and congrats to doing all this.
Our pleasure, and welcome to Crown Point.
Thank you so much. Mayor Crown Point right there as we're talking about the Cal Ripken 10U World Series. Still going around here. We got some stuff going on. The skills challenge will happen later at Jerry Ross Park, but seems like people are kind of making their way around here. It seems like maybe the parade, introducing people, that segment's kind of over as teams are kind of going back over here and getting ready, but we'll get ready for the skills challenge. But right now, Michael and I will kind of stay here, talk to you and keep you updated with everything going on here at the ballpark. But for right now, we're at Bulldog Park, and as you can see, the teams are kind of migrating near where all the food and the drink stands were. I believe that's kind of the major parts are over to the ceremony that we had.
Yeah, they have wrapped up the opening ceremonies. We're going to head over not on a rickshaw, but we're going to head over to Jerry Ross Park.
Well, we're going to race. We're going to race.
He's going to win because it's going to take a little while. But, Jack, just to kind of summate what we've been talking about here, I'm excited for this week. I can't wait to get this started tomorrow. We're going to see the skills competition tonight, but game action is going to start tomorrow at around 10. So please make sure you tuned in. Again, some are going to have broadcasters, some are not going to have broadcasters. So kind of figuring out which games are which at that point. We kind of have an idea of which games we're doing, but it'll be fun. I'm excited.
And we're excited to hear from the people.
Yes.
The audience. We really want to connect with the audience throughout this week and really, hear them, who they're cheering for, and just hear how happy and how, proud they are.
Yeah, and if you got shout-outs you want to say, if
Absolutely.
you're from, some wherever, go ahead and shout out, and we'll get that shout-out on the broadcast. And
absolutely.
we can't, get a microphone and just shout out to the crowd or anything like that, as much as we would like to. But we'll make that happen, and we want to interact with you. What questions do you have about this event? Maybe behind the scenes look at what we're doing, what's going on the field, maybe a little explanation as to what we're seeing on the field, going through rules and stuff like that. So excited. We want you to interact with us, so please make sure you do that over the course of the week as well. Again, let us know who you're shouting out, where you're from, where are you watching from. That's where we want to know.
And
let us know where you're watching from.
Just a reminder, this is the only place where you can view all the 10U Cal Ripken World Series coverage. So there's only one place to be. If you aren't at the games, it's going to be Region Sports Network, either on their Facebook or YouTube page to view the games. We're going to do our best to give you the most inside coverage we can, but for sure we're going to broadcast those games so you people at home have the opportunity to watch some great baseball.
All right, so big thanks to Pet Supplies Plus for being our presenting sponsors throughout the entire week. And if you do come up here, head over to Station 21 as well. I might go there after
I might
a little bit
too.
later out tonight just for a burger or something. But we appreciate you tuning in for the opening ceremonies. In about a little over an hour or so, we're going to come back and do the skills competition from Jerry Ross Park. So the race is officially on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.